you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Ranking Member Carson. Both of you guys have been leaders on this issue. Specifically, the work I wanted to thank you for is the authoring of the Public Building Savings and Reform Act of 2013. It's a bipartisan manner, and we need to see much more of that, especially on reducing our debt. We've got over $1 trillion deficit and skyrocketing debt, but we must examine every area of government and look for ways to cut that spending. I'd also like to thank Chairman Schuster for working with me on this issue to ensure that it receives the proper oversight and attention. Since taking the helm of this committee, Chairman Schuster's worked to create bipartisan solutions for our nation's problems, which is fitting for this topic that we're here to discuss today. I'm here today to talk about a bill that I authored and continue to work on with the assistance of Chairman Barletta and Chairman Schuster, who've been strong voices in cutting government. H.R. 695, the Civilian Property Realignment Act, or CPRA as it's referred to, would create a nonpartisan professional commission to root out waste and inefficiencies in the way that we manage our public buildings. The principles of this bill are the driving forces behind the effort to redevelop the Federal Triangle and serve as a model of how we manage property nationwide. I first proposed a civilian commission at the subcommittee's first hearing in February 2011, and the President proposed a commission in his 2012 budget. In recent years, the GAO identified billions of dollars of waste through mismanagement over building and an over-reliance on costly lease space to meet long-term housing needs. And on a bipartisan basis, this committee has struggled to house federal employees in the most cost-effective manner possible. Though I'm proud to say that due to the actions of this subcommittee, GSA leasing prospectuses are becoming much more efficient and saving taxpayer dollars. I believe the potential to save billions, tens of billions of dollars is real. I'm very pleased that the President made federal real estate a national priority by including it in his State of the Union in 2011 and his official budget to Congress. Additionally, both houses of Congress have included this idea in their budget concerns and their budget documents. To be successful, the Commission will need to do 5 things: consolidate the federal real estate footprint, house more federal employees in less space, reduce our reliance on costly lease space, sell or redevelop high-value assets that are underutilized or too valuable for housing federal employees, like the old post office that Trump is redeveloping here in D.C., and then finally dispose of surplus property more quickly. In my first term, I had a post office in my district, certainly controversial, but believe that we've got to sell off those things that we just aren't being used today. Today, we're redeveloping that, creating jobs in our local community, and actually having a new business that will be right there across from the courthouse. These properties can be redeveloped, creating those local jobs, but also that long ongoing boost to our local economies. So I believe a commission that uses these 5 principles to guide its decisions can have an immediate savings of upwards of $15 billion. We've got to have a solution that incorporates all 5 principles. For example, if the commission achieves is a fire sale of worthless properties in one of the worst real estate markets in our lifetime, then we shouldn't expect to save a lot of money. Simply dumping these vacant properties on a market is not a long-term solution. What we need is a CPRA, which is designed to reshape the way that this country manages the federal footprint, and fortunately this administration recognizes the same problem. At the end of the day, the total cost of housing federal government is directly proportional to how much real estate we hold. To save money, we have to consolidate that footprint. To consolidate, we must house more employees in less space. Fortunately, there are tremendous opportunities to have savings in this area. GSA is working to reconfigure its headquarters building to triple the number of employees working there from 2,000 to 6,000 in the same building, allowing GSA to vacate 2 other buildings. The private sector has been increasing its utilization rates for over a decade, and a commission can achieve the same results in the federal government. Reducing expensive lease space is another principle necessary for a successful commission. The federal government spent well over $1 billion to lease space for the Department of Transportation's headquarters, yet the government could have purchased several buildings for this amount and housed thousands of employees for much less money. Perhaps one of the greatest areas for taxpayer savings will be in the redevelopment or sale of high-value, underutilized properties. The Postal Service used a private developer to transform a rundown money pit with a great location into $150 million in revenue and a fully renovated building without any taxpayer money. While the government retained ownership of this property, in other cases, selling may generate the greatest savings for the taxpayer. There are high-value properties all across the country that are being used inefficiently and oftentimes have large amounts of vacant space. Maximizing this value is what CPRA seeks to achieve, and I'm proud that not only do we have bipartisan support in the House and Senate, but the President actually wants to engage on this issue. We can save billions of dollars by working together.